Some people accuse us of being brainwashing cult. Yeah, my brain does need washing, but it's not just like as simple as drinking some Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I went through the entire brainwashing process that this guy's talking about. But what the cult doesn't know is that I had a spy camera in my glasses. So in this video, I'm gonna show you step by step of how you go from a normal citizen of society to a brainwashed cult member, all supported by footage that I captured. But first, let's look up the actual definition of brainwashing. Google claims it's to make someone adapt radically different beliefs by using systematic and often forcible pressure. Yeah, that's exactly what I experienced. But before they can put any new thoughts in, first they had to take all of my old thoughts out. So they sat me down at a table and told me that from this point on, the rest of my life, this is the only way I'm ever allowed to think.
I've learned everything. Let me start over. Let me be like a blank page. And just whatever needs to go, it's all subject to change. Replace any thought, any way of thinking in there. It's all gotta go, let it go, you know? And I just want to start over.
So the next day, I told them I was ready.
I'm going to completely start fresh, wipe all of that out, and relearn completely new.
The first thing I had to give up was my religion.
You're going to have to renounce Christianity.
Because everyone else in the entire world is wrong, which would make these guys the lucky 0.00003% of everyone in the entire world that actually got it correct, which is actually the correct statistic if you take all their members divided by the population of the world. But all actual logic aside, getting rid of your religion's the fastest way to turn your brain into a blank slate, so it's easier for you to be brainwashed.
It's intense to hear, but the system of Christianity, that whole system's actually wrong.
I think I'm done being a normal Christian, and I'm ready to give up my whole life and go all in.
Next, they told me that Satan's coming very soon. This is where the scare tactic I mentioned before comes into play. They told me that Satan is going to kill every single person on earth that doesn't do exactly what they say.
It's going to be the time where the mark of the beast is going to come on earth, and we're going to be stuck for 3.5 years in our farms, and we're going to have to be sustained for 3.5 years in our farms, and growing food, and
Now, this is just brainwashing that the restaurant uses to get free manual labor. But look how scared this guy is when he says this. I mean, he genuinely believes that if he doesn't do this free manual labor for the restaurant, that Satan's gonna kill him soon.
And so you're going to have to like unlearn a lot of things and learn it from a different spirit.
So for the next 3 weeks, I pretended to unlearn everything they wanted me to unlearn.
blank slate. Just a blank slate. You don't know anything.
But now I've fully gained their trust. So much trust that now they're finally ready to teach me their new way of thinking.
Like during those years before the Civil War, like it was an apex in human righteousness.
You know what the South was before the Civil War, right, guys?
They're all probably looking at you like, what happened after that was just a mess for the black people. Like they got taken out of the farms, you know.
Basically, he's telling me that black people can only work as slaves to white people.
Especially in the South, some that submit themselves, they give themselves to certain all the pluses, you know. Those just stay within the boundaries of conscience.
He says this because he claims before the Civil War, black people were in their place as slaves.
Who are you to just have a pitch of fit? You know? They're living under their care, they're taking care of you, they're feeding you. Who are you to disobey them?
And that after the Civil War, it was just chaos because now these evil black people are now in society.
And all of a sudden, like all these black people, and they try to make it like these systems that would like make it work for the black people. Like it never worked, you know. Now you have all these like black people like all over. Just look what happened. You know, just chaos in society.
I just can't believe he's telling you this, dude. We gained their trust so much that he trusts you with this.
A lot of people are probably thinking, oh, this is just one racist member that happens to work at the restaurant. He's just one bad apple in a sea full of good. No. This is actually the core principle that this restaurant's based off of, and you either have to accept this or it's really bad for you. Like, we actually saw this girl who happened to question something that they taught her.
I don't really trust your body. Why am I crazy? I'm a Christian. I don't think I was crazy.
There's not enough time in this episode, but in a later episode, I'm going to go into a lot more detail of exactly what happens if you decide to disagree with them. But for now, we'll just end up saying that whatever happened to her was not good.
You say you're like disciples of God. I'm just like, Like, I have nowhere to sleep.
But if you're wondering why this cult hates black people so much, they actually have a reason. So the guy I was talking to referenced this like weird verse in the Bible where Noah got drunk after the flood.
Noah got drunk. Okay. After the flood.
And even though Noah and his wife are white, they for some reason had a son that was black.
His oldest son went and told his brothers, look at dad, he's drunk, you know.
Basically the black son disrespected him. But Noah also had 2 other white sons.
And Shem and Yahweh had respect for their moms, like went and covered him.
Yes, the white son did the morally good thing and they closed their drunk dad, whereas the black son just laughed at him. This cult believes that because this black guy did this, God cursed all of black people, God doesn't like black people anymore, and now black people have to be slaves to white people forever.
That was a curse upon it.
The God they believe in sounds worse than Kim Jong-un from North Korea. If you disobey this God, not only is he going to punish your whole family, he's going to punish your whole race. This is actually the exact same story that the KKK would use to justify all their black murders back in the 1920s. These guys are literally using KKK logic and don't even see a problem with it.
But then they even wants to make it seem like, oh, they're just victims because of what? White people. Nobody's holding them down.
As you can see, the brainwashing is so powerful, it's completely making him overlook the chains, the dogs, the whips, the starvation, castration, the lower life expectancy, separation of family, murder. But if you're properly brainwashed, your brain's not really thinking about logic. You're more just blindly following whatever the group says.
You see that black people, a lot of them rebel. That's what that whole victim spirit is.
Yeah, these guys think that black slaves becoming free men is just the worst thing to ever happen. And once you hear all of this, it's surprising that the restaurant has 4.5 out of 5 stars. This restaurant is genuinely loved because they serve delicious food for a very cheap price. I mean, it's cheap because of slave labor, but that's another story. They even have a lot of my audience fooled that says, how can these guys be racist? There's a black person sitting right there. I mean, first off, that's a terrible excuse considering that most slave owners actually lived on the same property as their slaves. I mean, which is also happening here. But people say this because they honestly just don't know. I mean, it's surprising at how well these guys are at hiding this stuff from the public.
Don't go and start talking about ocean beach because people would go understand. I'll be like a heart attack. The world doesn't agree with us. Like, you know, like if we're like, for sure we're gonna be an enmity of the world. You know, anybody who loves the world, they're gonna hate us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just.
Wait. Everyone who loves the world is gonna hate us?
Yeah, it sounds strange, but they actually justify this because they truly believe to themselves that everything that's actually good in the world is evil, and everything that is actually bad in the world they see as good. They even have their own saying for it.
Evil will be called good and good will be called evil, you know?
And they basically drilled this concept into our heads.
We say that the concepts of our Father's kingdom are reversed of the concepts of the world.
Just makes you feel like somehow doing the right thing is wrong.
But this is just still the tip of the iceberg. It gets a lot worse.
And the more you go, the more tested you get. So you're going to be tested on stuff you don't even realize you're going to get tested on. Something's going to happen and you're going to say, I didn't even realize I could get offended, but I'm like offended. I don't know how to even describe it.
Remember when we first started working there, Danny, and he asked us if we were Jewish? And we were like, no, we're not Jewish.
It wasn't popular in Germany to be Jewish.
Yeah.
And then me and Danny were kind of like, oh, is there something like deeper to like what he's saying? But like we didn't find out then, but now we're about to find out.
Well, look at even what happened in the Holocaust. It's all communicated by the Jews, you know?
Whoa.
Holy shit.
Wow. They're trying to communicate this victim thing. Like, we're just victims of, you know?
Hitler didn't like the fact that they complained when they were getting gas?
In school, they teach that it's like Hitler's the most evil person that's ever existed and stuff. And
well, that's the point of view the Jews communicated, you know?
Dude, they're basically like standing up for Hitler.
Yeah, they're standing up for
Okay.
bad.
But you look at what was going on, and what's not told to you by the Jews is that Hitler, in a certain way, is trying to save his country, you know? Trying to save his country from these people that are taking over. Like, he wanted to purify the country back, you know what I'm saying? That's just part of the history that it's not told a lot. It's just that.
Yeah, they never teach that side in school.
There's just been a lot of discipline for the Jews.
The way that this community thinks of discipline is completely different of how everyone else thinks of discipline. It's been a lot of discipline for the Jews.
The Jews really learned their lesson on this one.
But in all seriousness though, when they start to talk about disciplining their kids, it's equally as messed up.
If you love your child, you're gonna discipline them. You don't have to grow up these ways.
These ways, meaning growing up against all the ways they've taught me so far in this video. So basically, they physically abuse their children for not being racist. I'll talk more about this in a different episode that I'm dedicating just purely to this. There's just way too much stuff to talk about on the child abuse. I wouldn't do it justice if I included it in this video. So
Hitler was right to kill the Jews because they were taking over. Okay, but then the South, the slave owners were taking over the economy. But the slaves should have just been slaves.
Well, you're looking into this like too logically. Another thing you guys have to understand that I haven't really talked about yet is it's easy from an outsider point of view to look at this footage and just add logic to it and dismiss it. But when you're in the cult, there's consequences if you don't agree with them. Like how the children are physically beat into believing these things. Or like how this girl got severely punished just for questioning something. But it goes even further. Another famous brainwashing technique that this cult uses is they limit the type of words you're allowed to say.
We see that the world's trained us a certain way to talk. Our father wants us to have a clear speech.
Basically, there's like a whole list of second grade words that they're forbidden to say.
Sucks. What does that mean? It comes from like the whole realm of fornication.
But he's wrong. The real origin of the word sucks is actually a non-sexual taunt, apparently favored by the British school children.
Like, dude, what's dude meat again? It's like the nipple on the bottom of somebody's bottom. Wait, really? Yeah. That's a dude?
And he's wrong again. Not much of a surprise. Yeah, dude actually derives from a handsome man.
I'm using those words because I have a bad conscience. Oh. You think it's Satan that's been putting that vocabulary in us? Oh, for sure.
So just like before, when you saw they were taking old thoughts out of my brain to put new thoughts in, they do the same thing with words. They're trying to put a whole new type of vocabulary in my brain.
Somebody's uneducated, not working very hard. You think that's an accurate term to call a black person? For some, it can be. I mean, do you think it's okay for a white person to say that? I mean, they just call dumb people that. So, like, why am I afraid to say that word then? It's definitely a brainwashing. Maybe once I get saved, I'll learn how to be able to say it. Yeah.
So you might be thinking, what's the big deal? These are just words. But it's actually been proven that words actually deeply influence the way you think. And people that can speak different languages, actually their mood changes when they switch from language to language. Even the book 1984 warns us of the dangers of what it's like if we limit our vocabulary. But despite all of this, they make you feel really good for going along with them.
So increase your words. Yeah. I want to feel open words more.
Another thing about most white supremacy groups is they accept you if you're white. And that's it. And pretty much everyone else, they hate.
Native Americans, that when the first English came over, and the French, and they recognized the grace that was in Shem.
So Shem was the white son from the drunk Noah story earlier. And basically what he's saying is that because white people are better, they just get to do whatever they want. They even deserve to steal the Native Americans' land from them.
They should have seen that Shem was coming and actually go under. And a lot of them did.
I also want to remind you guys that in actual reality, the Native Americans didn't just submit to the white people because white people are born better. They submitted because the white people literally forced them out. Like, we came in with guns, with smallpox blankets.
Yeah, Shem was coming, and it was actually blessed.
But what he's telling me is just white people were born better because Native Americans, God just didn't bless them.
It probably wasn't blessing them. Like, can you tell? Like, that's what that whole victim spirit is. Why did they have to come and take my land? That's a victim spirit. They blame the American, oh, they just gave us these reservations and they, you know.
They drill you over and over that the Native Americans didn't really actually do anything wrong. They just weren't really blessed.
Really blessed. Like, you can just see it by just wasn't really blessed.
This is exactly how they train you to think in this cult. Just zero critical thought. Black people, bad spirits, bad. Like white people, good spirits, good. But that's literally how they train you to think. It's brainwashing. You just have to trust it because God said so. And that's what faith is for. Finally, I was like, okay, this is enough. I have gained their trust. I just want to question this guy and see if he actually truly believes this.
Yeah, it's so weird because you hear in the news all the time, we have to preserve the Native American tribes and...
That's all like, it's actually like that victim spirit.
And what I learned is anytime you try to disagree, it's just because they're a victim. Black people didn't think it was right that they had to be treated like slaves. And because they think like that, they're victims. If Native Americans didn't want someone to steal their land from them, then they're victims. If the Jewish people didn't want to die in the Holocaust, then they're victims. After hearing this over and over, it teaches you, if you don't want to be called a victim, don't disagree with us. Because I couldn't disagree, I was just in pure shock the entire time. Like, there's a couple times he's like, "You catching all this?" And I'm just like,
Yeah, I lost a little bit in the Native American one. I mean, just 'cause it's all new to me, you know what I mean?
They fully believe now, after telling me all of this, that I am now one of them.
It's a miracle to find people that have ears to hear like you. It's actually a miracle. Most people can't hear it.
It's kind of funny how all of these extremist groups think that what they believe is just so obvious, and it's crazy that they're the only ones that believe it. When I trolled the leader of the Flat Earth Society, this is word for word what he was saying also.
It's just, do you have eyes, do you have ears, and do you have a brain that works? If you do, welcome to Flat Earth, my brother.
What's crazy about this situation is this guy thinks that being racist and hateful towards everyone is actually the moral way to live.
People gone against their conscience to the point to accept spirits like the victim spirit and make them their home, where the character gets damaged. You know? It's completely selfish nature.
Yeah, it's selfish to accept other groups of people and to not be racist. To not be racist. There, I said it without laughing. And this is the end result of a brainwashed person. I said at the beginning of the video, I was going to show you brainwashing from beginning to end. He even goes as far as to say that all of these beliefs are just common sense that everyone has. They just don't know it yet.
Thanks for having this talk with me.
It's just strengthening your conscience, because your conscience knows all these things. You know what I'm saying? You're just talking about actually common sense has been lost, you know?
There's one final belief that they want to tell me.
Whoever wants to be my disciple must give up, yes, even his own life.
Group suicide! Yeah. I know I make fun of this a lot, but they actually think that a group suicide's coming soon. They think that they have to get 144,000 virgins and kill them so that way their God can... I was like, this is just funny. Do you guys not think this is funny? I get a lot of comments saying, like, why are you making fun of this? Like, do you really think that this cult is going to get 144,000 virgins to join? Of course not. I mean, if they really wanted to, they could just do a terrorist attack on the next anime convention. But that's also what these videos are for, is to, like, maybe this video series comes out and people wake up and say, oh, this is terrible what's happening. I don't want to join this community anymore. And then the suicide never happens. So that's basically the goal of these videos. Maybe at the end of this, we can actually get this 4.5 star to maybe just a 4 star. That would be a good start at least. But anyways, back to him telling me about the suicide.
There's a time coming where everyone's gonna die.
So I'm actually in the position to do something absolutely life-changing for everyone right now. All of this cult's racist beliefs come from the story I was talking about, where Noah's drunk. The black son laughs at Noah, but the white son clothes Noah. And that's why black people are cursed and they have to be slaves to white people. So the best thing I can do for equality is I, a white man, disrespect someone that's drunk worse than Ham did, to put all of black people on the same level as white people again. But first, I have to get someone drunk.
What's up, dude?
Plan on getting drunk tonight?
Nah, I was probably just gonna edit. I gotta do a bunch of thumbnail design and stuff.
I think you should get drunk tonight. Well, why not?
It's Monday.
Yeah! Whoa!
I'm good.
I love Mondays!
Someone help and please give me clothes to cover up my naked body.
I have the clothes to cover up your naked body, but I'm purposely choosing not to give you these clothes. Not only am I not clothing my naked friend, I'm uploading his naked vulnerability body to thousands of viewers online, so you guys can all see it and laugh at him too. Making what I did way worse than what Ham did.
Everyone's gonna see my naked body.
White people are cursed now. God's so much more pissed at me than he was pissed at Ham.
Take that! Thousands of people are gonna see me naked. Oh no.
Guess what, 12 tribes? Now you guys are slaves to the one black guy at your community. He's in charge of all you guys now. And I know you monitor my videos, 12 tribes. There's no excuse you didn't know this happened. And if you guys want to complain about it, then you guys are just victims. Boom!
Please, someone get me clothes.